Okay, so let's get started with building a high converting landing page in Elementor. So before we start anything, I need to probably mute this so that I don't hear myself. Okay, so before we start anything, the first thing you need to do is log into your WordPress and then create a new page. Make sure you publish it, otherwise you won't see these preview update buttons. Okay, click publish. And once you publish, after that, a better thing to do if you're not on a staging, this is right now on a staging, but if you're not on it, I suggest you install Yoast. I have a premium plugin here, but you don't have to have premium, you can just have free, and then go here and say allow search engines to know. Right, this is helpful if you are playing around, if you're practicing things and you don't want search engines to pick up stuff. So that's the first step, and once you do that, there'll be a button here which says edit with Elementor. Then when you click that, you are good to go. Okay, so we're going to be doing something that's a rapid page development. So we're not going to create too many things from scratch. We're going to go by using blocks and templates and things like that, so that we can quickly jump in and build our own lead generation page, right? So first thing we need to do is, this page doesn't look right because every page has something called a page template, and the page template is like the base on which you build your page. So right now this page template says there's a header, there is a sidebar which has been already set up, and there's a footer, and here is where you put your content. But I don't like this, I don't want this, because lead generation pages are not supposed to be like this. Lead generation pages or any type of landing pages usually should have only one single thing you are giving the user to do. So click on this cog right here under settings and go to page layout and turn it to Elementor canvas. So this is a good thing, and as soon as you change it, you can see stuff changing on the right side. Now that's what we want to start with, because we don't want a header, footer, nothing. The only thing you want people to do when they land on your lead generation page is leave you their contact details or download your free ebook or whatever, but they are there to fill a form, right? That's how you build a landing page. If you are going to create some other form of page, then feel free to include the header, but it's not advised, because you want to give them only one thing to do. All right, okay. Now that this is done, I'm going to click update. So this is the base layout that we are starting with. Now the first thing first, we can click on this and go to templates, and you can see there's a loads of templates, right? So you can go landing, and if you type landing, you're going to have a bunch of landing pages for your business. So this is a cool homepage, business landing page. There are a lot of templates, and these are some really good ones. If you see on top, personal trainer, law office, vacation pages, and this is the ebook landing page. That's something I like, but let's do something that's going to be like a business lead generation landing page, where they're probably going to call you and set up a call or schedule a meeting or something like that, right? That's what you want them to do. The problem I have with Elementor's templates is that they are not really that conversion focused. They're great for design, they look really good, but I would like more contrast. Some of them are okay. This is okay, I guess. This is conversion focused. It's got good contrast, simple layout, and can go. But for now, what we'll do is we'll not go ahead and use these templates. Rather, what we'll do is we'll start using something called as blocks, because templates can be great to start, but it kind of doesn't let you change many things with a single thing. What am I saying? What I meant to say is a template has a fixed look and feel, and oftentimes you might not be able to modify all of that just so that it'll suit your needs for your website. So that way, I think these blocks are a great section, because I can come here directly and say call to action. So if I want to start something with a call to action in the beginning, I just choose one of these blocks, and they're black and white. It's great because you can just throw in an image, you can change colors, and it's like a basic template to start with. So that's what I love about this particular thing. Or you can also have a hero section. So hero section is what we call the top section of a page. So I think I'm gonna start with the hero section, because hero section is the number one thing. Okay, so here our particular thing is lead generation, right? So we want people to come and say, I want to engage with this business right now, and I want to probably have a call or maybe download an ebook or something like that. Okay. So in that case, you also have subscription sections. That's great. Okay. So you can include all of these things. Start single product services. We also have a single page template, which we don't really want. Then we have services block. That's good. Pricing, portfolio, hero, header. So we don't want a header because this is a lead generation page and a landing page where we want them to do only one thing. Features grid is great. We can use them in our landing page building. Call to action client. So I think the best thing to do right now is to simply start with the call to action. I like the call to action setup because it starts with a clear, bold headline with some explanation and a box like this. Okay. And after that, we can kind of let people do multiple things by scrolling down. Okay. So let's start with something that is this. I like this. I like the clean white style, and let's just start with that. Okay. So you can see that it's already got a font for us selected, and then there is a text below, and then so here's some of the things I wanted to really iterate. This text is almost unreadable. Yes, it looks good, it's very designery, but at the same time it's bad for conversion. So the first thing we need to do is we need to change the color of this text. Another thing you can start with is you can go to default fonts, and right now I have disabled Elementor default fonts, so I don't even know where this is picking this font setting from. So there must be a font setting that it's picking up from. It's probably from one of these things. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and use a very simple, normal font, like perhaps something like this, okay? Or something more neutral. This is a bit old school. So I would say a more neutral font is Neato Sans. I love this font, and I like to start with something super heavy so that, you know, I'm a big fan of contrast and Christo. Based on Christo's principle, contrast is one of the best things. And then second is this one. So let's go here and change the typography to that. I suggest that you use only one font, so just Neato Sans again, and a minimum of 18, so it's at least bigger. And the weight for this should be, of course, 400. And now we change the color to something that's at least readable. So I think that's readable. It's not bad. It's not as bad as the previous one. So I think, and it's got contrast. This is a headline. There's a slight gray, and it's very important to have that contrast. It's good. The last thing we need to do is change this buttons style. Right. We're not going to be doing this over and over again. We're just going to replicate this once we are done with this particular setup. So here we go to Neato Sans. Then I'd like to go for this again, and also increase the letter spacing a little bit. Right, so 0.8 is okay. There you go. I love that. And a minimum of at least 16 for this. Right. Maybe just that, because 900 was a bit too much. Okay. So that's purchase now button. So let's start with, so this is going to be your headline block. So you're going to start with something that's going to capture their attention. The headline is the most important thing, and the headline is supposed to be at least, you have to spend at least 50% of your time on the headline, right? That's the whole point of the headline. And let's see, how am I doing? Okay, I'm just checking my own live stream right now. Okay, that sounds good. All right, let's come back to this. So let's pick something that's fun. What do I like? I like video games, right? Let's say you are a pro video game coach, or not that, probably you teach people how to make video games, right? Because that's something I actually used to do before in my life for my previous job. So I'm gonna do that here. So let's say learn to build mobile games, build video games, right? build the that are actually fun in 3 months. Okay, that's a very decent title. So let's say I'm running a school that teaches people how to do video games, then I would do that, right? Now, something to note, when you write a headline, we use something called a title case, right? So, and that is built into here. So you click here, you can go here and you click capitalize. Then you see this is actually a lot more readable and it looks nicer for a headline when you actually make all of them title case. Sometimes you don't have to make all of them title case, only some of them. So for example, I'll start with the obvious words, which are nouns and verbs. So build video games that are actually fun in 3 months, right? That's already better. I think I'm gonna increase a few more. So except 2, I think all the other characters in this particular example are can be title case. So if you want to be sure, just go to titlecase.com. That's what I use. I'm not an expert in title case. I should have never started explaining that. So just click here, paste this, and click convert. Right. Once you do that, you get some variations, and you can see here 2 is not capitalized, in is not capitalized, and that's what they recommend for title case. So I think I should do the same thing. So I'm going to do that. All right. And next, you write a short sentence about your video games. Okay, so I'm going to say start as a complete beginner and build your first fun game in 3 months. Build your first fun game. Covers game design theory, practical game building using a professional game engine, and strategies on how to market and sell your game, right? Using a pro, let's call it pro so that it doesn't extend. Using a pro game engine and strategies on how to market and sell your game. That is perfect. So instead of purchase now, I'm gonna call it enroll now. Right. Enroll now, or talk to a enrollment. Contact us. So talk to an advisor, let's say. Okay, so that's an engaging starting point, I would say, right? So it's pretty good, and we just have to spice it up a little bit. Okay, so it's clean. It doesn't try to do too many things. It's got a nice block here, and then it says talk to an advisor. All it requires is a bit more fun. So I'm going to make it go to Unsplash and search for some games or video games images. So I'm sure that you're going to get some really colorful ones, right? And there you go. These are some really good ones. Okay. All I need something that's fun. I like this, where it makes 2 people sit and do things. So I'm going to open this up. So that's your first game image. So let's save this, save image as, then I'm going to drop it in the downloads section. Okay, that's done. And now what I can go is I can go back here and I can set this as the background for this whole section, right? This is the whole section, and I would like to go here. So remember that there is a section here with a big padding on top and bottom, and then there is a this thing. Okay, so what we are actually going to do is not set the background for this section, rather for this column. Okay, so if you're anytime confused about how the whole thing flows, click on this little navigator button and it will show you the hierarchy. So you can see that there's a section, which is the highest one, column, and when you choose it, you can see the selection change, heading, text editor, button, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to set it for the column. So choose the column, select style, background, select the image, and I'm going to say upload file. And in this, I'm going to upload the picture that I just uploaded, right? Then go down, we say insert media. Perfect. Now the picture is too big, obviously, and it needs to cover the whole screen, so I need to choose click and contain. There are contain and cover. So contain is basically it's going to try to fit in the whole thing, and it probably repeats. I can take off the repeat. You can do this if you want, and I can make it center, so it becomes like, but oftentimes this is not good. You need something to cover it. So this is actually much better. So the next thing I want to do is either I need to put, the text is not readable, this text, it gets lost in the colors. So the best thing to do that would be to just say background overlay. So choose this and choose a color that's going to have a background overlay that's white, and then increase the opacity until it becomes, at least. So the image often is there to just support your narrative. So here the narrative is that I'm teaching you how to build a fun game, and people can see that there's a picture behind that supports the theme, but that's not the whole idea behind this, right? And so make sure that you don't overdo this, and at this point you don't need a border here, because the border is just okay. Now that's much better. Learn to build video games that are actually fun in 3 months. Start as a complete beginner and build your first fun game. This part is still not that readable. This is still gray, so I'm gonna increase the contrast here, the color. So right now instead of 666, I'm gonna go somewhere to maybe 444. It's a 50% increase. So don't worry if you don't know what those colors are. It's just a hex code. It's just a fancy way of writing what a color is. And all you have to do is just click and drag things around. So this is a solid top block. If somebody who's an actual person looking forward to build a video game is looking forward to learn something, then this is a great place to start. All right. Now what's the next step? The next step is adding another block, I would say. So I'll just click here, go to the block. So what is the next thing that you are going to do? You're going to talk about either some pains they're going through, or they're going to, or give them why you're going to be better at this, right? So or even better, if you have a testimonial, you do a testimonial, right? If you have a student or a customer, right now it's for a different business, of course, but for your business, if you have a testimonial, always put a testimonial. And testimonial does not have to be from a real customer. It can even be from someone who you know, like your ex boss, a colleague, somebody. It's just to show that you're not a weirdo with no connections, right? It's just that you are a decent person who at least one other person on this planet can recommend. And keep it real. Don't put, if they're not a customer, don't try to show that they're a customer. Just show that they are a mentor or somebody who recommends you, and put their name and thing. It just gives you the thing that when you are alone, you're a person. It's not as appealing as when somebody actually, somebody actually recommends you. So that's the thing. Right? So maybe I'm gonna add a testimonial block, and you can see there are loads of testimonial blocks, and these are pretty good. I'd probably go for something like this. This is pretty nice. 2 testimonials, and there you go. I love this already. So you go down, and there is these testimonials. It's a bit annoying that you have to change the fonts again and again, but it's not that bad either, I would say. So here, let's go down and see where the text typography is. You go to content, typography. Again, my thing with a single font is much better. So that's for typography and then you have the name typography. So Nonito Sans, that's much better. Okay, let's go for bold instead of 90%, 900, which is the black. And then the names are probably not too big. To go for something like 21, be fine. And then their title. The title is not as important, but at the same time, don't make it too bad. And then that again, Nito Sans. Okay, perfect. So you have two people having their thing. Now there's too much space actually. I don't know why they did it like that, but I like the top space. It's definitely nicer to see some breathing space here, but at the same time the bottom space is too much. So first thing we do is we remove the padding for this section. I'm going to click here and then click the bottom padding and remove it. Right, so that's just stuck here. And this is decent. This is already pretty good. So you have here, and you have a person, say they're going to say something, and the content item, you can just click here. Amazing course, and I totally recommend it. I built my first game in 2.4 months and can't be more proud. Right, something like that. There you go, Amanda Lee. And say recent graduate in financial studies, because it does happen. When it comes to video games, people sometimes don't like what they studied and they just come for this. So I removed these two items because you don't need more than two. And this you can say best way to learn how to make video games. I should have joined earlier instead of wasting months trying to search online. Right? And then Kate Moss could be something else. Could be bank teller. Right. All right. Okay. So we have these two people, and you have that already, right? So you have these things that start with something, and this is social proof. When people see actual people's words, they tend to trust your service much better. And what is the next thing? The next thing I would like to add here is again, I saw something that I previously spotted, which is the services, right? Not services, which was the features probably. I like these, but I like something even stronger. Did I see something in hero section? No, not that. I think it was services, but yeah, something like this. I love this particular layout because I want to highlight a few really prominent pain points and throwing a bunch of them at their face, right? So this I don't want. I can delete that. Right click and delete, by the way. And then this again, I'm going to remove the bottom padding, right? So this whole thing comes up. So that's here, and then that starts, right? Okay. I need to pause the stream.